It's been 4 years since I got my Ricoh GR3, and to be honest, I cannot believe I'm still saying this, but this is still the king of the streets. Today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why this is still the best street photography camera in the world. Let's jump into it. Okay, we're going to get the easiest one out of the way. The size of this camera is still the king. If you look at this up against my hand, it's smaller than an iPhone. This will fit into any pocket that you have. And honestly, the best camera that you're ever gonna have is gonna be the one that's on you. My DSLR sits here all the time. My X100V honestly doesn't make it out as much as it should because of the size. But I'll tell you what, my Ricoh GR3 goes everywhere with me. Especially when I was in New York, no matter where I was going, if we were going to a play, if we were in the subway, if we were going to a park, this came seriously everywhere with me. And it allowed me to capture shots that I wouldn't have got if I did not own a Ricoh GR3. All right, let's jump into number 2 for this camera. It has a 28mm focal length. I believe that to give you the best composition when it comes to shooting. It's wide enough to capture any scene that you want. It takes beautiful portraits and allows you to kind of compose and move around a scene exactly how I would like to in the streets. The 35mm on the X100V, you'd be surprised on such a small difference how many shots I actually miss on that. So the 28mm on this has to be number 2 of why I find this to be the greatest street photography camera out there. All right, let's jump into number 3 where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. The InBody Stabilization on this camera. I'm not sure if you can pick that up on the mic or not, but I always get questions, is my Ricoh GR3 broken or not? Because you can hear a rattle in this camera. I find this to be one of the strongest things that allows you to be as creative as you can with the Ricoh GR3. It allows me to go down to like a 15th of a second, sometimes even a little slower, so I can capture those shots where I want to do those slow shutter speeds without a tripod. I just stabilize myself like this, and it allows me to shoot some really creative shots with the Ricoh GR3 that I don't think you can really do with any other camera right now. And it's one of the things that I criticize the X100V and the Leicas kind of about the most is I wish that they would put in an in-body stabilization. I think it allows you to get creative in a way that a lot of the other cameras don't allow you to. All right, guys, before we jump into number 4, if you're getting some value out of this video and you're a fan of street photography, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the streets. Let's jump into number 4. All right, stay on the creative side. Number 4 is going to be highlight metering. This allows you to get creative as well because it almost allows you to hit those shots like Fan Ho, or one of my recent favorite photographers who's Alan Schaller, who likes to hit those black and whites where almost the scene that you're shooting is the highlights. It's the lighting that you're choosing to shoot. So it's not so much you're trying to capture a subject, but you're trying to protect your highlights so all of your shadows fall super dark. But it allows you to compose these really beautiful scenes. So highlight metering is going to be number 4 with the Ricoh GR3. All right, guys, let's take this video home with tip number 5. This is going to be snap focusing on the Ricoh GR3. What makes this so powerful is mixed with the in-body stabilization, it allows you to just be on the go, be on the fly, and know that you're going to hit a shot in focus. So what this is you can set a predetermined focal length, let's say between like 1 meter to 3 meters, and you know if you hard press the shutter, anything inside of that distance is going to be in focus. And if you match that with the in-body stabilization, you know that because you can be on the fly and on the move, if something comes into your shot, you're not going to have some weird artifacts or motion blur in there. If you just hard press this, you know you're going to have a sharp image and exactly the shot that you're looking for. So tip number 5 is going to be zone focus or snap focus on the Ricoh GR3. It makes this camera so powerful. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about on this camera is currently going for, I think, just under $1,000. It is half the price of the Fuji X100V, just as powerful, if not more. It might lack in some aesthetics or feel or kind of like the way that it's built, but let me tell you, this camera is just as powerful, if not more, and that's why I have this king of the streets. Anyways, I just got back from New York City. If you'd like to see a POV video on this camera, make sure to click on that video right there. I'll see you guys out there. Peace.